us, a friend, a colleague, and the host of the only literary show on television, Just Books. It's him in conversation with 30 authors out of over 300, so don't ask me how he narrowed it down. And it's a fascinating insight into the world of writers, where they come from, why they write books, and where they actually look at going from here, how do they plan their next book. So it's a fascinating insight into that. I'd like to introduce my panel. We have with me this morning John Makinson. He's, of course, Chairman and CEO of Penguin Worldwide. Also with me is Patrick French, historian, author, and, of course, biographer. His latest book, India, an Intimate Portrait of 1.2 billion people, is just out. Kiran Desai, Booker Prize winning author. Kiran, that's almost part of your name now, isn't it? Is with us, of course, author of 2 books, Hullabaloo in the Guava Orchard and The Inheritance of Loss, and Sunil Sethi. What interested me about this session is that the question why books matter has a very different, very individual response from each of us. I mean, for instance, I've just had a 3rd wonderful baby, and amid the 24/7 babble, not on television, but at home, I yearn really for the silence that the written word can give you. And I think you only realize how important the presence of books is when you feel acutely their absence. So I think books matter so very much to all of us for different reasons at different stages. And I think one way to open this would actually to open it up to our panelists, all of them authors, publishers, reviewers, and passionate readers, to ask them why this theme is important to them. So perhaps, Kiran, I'll start with you as an author and a passionate reader. Why do books matter to you?
Well, I grew up in a house full of books. And in fact, I'm so sad because our family library, when my father died 2 years ago, was donated to Gargi College. So all our family books that I remember so vividly on the family bookshelf are now not with us any longer. But I think, why do books matter? Because sometimes they seem more real than life does itself. I have a great desire, I think, to displace myself with what I'm reading. It's so much better. The identities one can claim through books can be so much more lovely than one's own. These days of identity politics, who we are so strongly fighting about these things, we forget that actually it's a wobbly thing, and it may be nicer to dissolve it and an escape.
Let you live different lives. Patrick, the subjects you've chosen for your biographies, very different people, very different lives. Why do you think writing books about them? I mean, often, for instance, your first choice are often unusual choices. Why was it so important to have a book out about them?
Well, I've been thinking about this, and I think that the purpose or the value of the book is very different now from even 5, 10, 20 years ago. You have a situation today where you're reading, where everybody is reading much more. You're reading texts, BBMs, emails, you're reading images which are combined with words on the screen all the time. And it means that you have to process words constantly. And the book is the only solid thing. You can write or read something on Twitter, and you know it's ephemeral, even though it'll be there forever in a digital archive. But the book is the thing that you can turn to. It's like it's the hand that you can hold, or it's the light that you can see in the distance and walk towards. It has a totally different quality to the other myriad forms of the written word, which are everywhere now. And so, you know, in terms of the book that just came out that you mentioned, India, you have all the reactions, some positive, some negative, and yet what the book is doing is it's saying, well, here's a solid thing which maybe will make people think in a different way or look at very standard political or ideological arguments in a different way.